Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for coming to tonight's event, the B&W Launch event and party. We are thrilled that you're here. My name is Doug Kofer, and I'm with Four Columns, the marketing firm that's working with B&W on their rebranding and on executing this event. So we really appreciate you being here. Our staff is thrilled to be working with B&W and just excited to unveil everything that's going on here at B&W. As you've seen by now, I'm sure the new logo. There's also a new website which has been launched, social media channels, videos which you can view over here, entire new set of collateral that B&W is going to be using, and much, much more that we have coming down the pipe. So we're thankful that you're here and appreciate you coming, and encourage you to look at everything that B&W's got going on. To start off our live broadcast, we are actually broadcasting live right now on the internet. I don't know if you probably didn't know that, but we have a camera right back here which is filming, and we are broadcasting live to the world. So we're going to start off with Wallace Greer, who's going to come and do a safety moment, and then we're going to have some remarks from Jason and Tim and Joel. So, Wallace?
How's everybody doing?
All right.
I want to thank y'all for coming. I got some guys here, a lot of young guys here, but I come back from the time when safety didn't exist on a job. It was a word. Don't mean to sound crude, but when they killed you off, they drug another, and there was a guy waiting to take your place. And to see the changes that's come in the industry now and the team building and all, it's really good. You know, they say that things that make you bleed get more respect. April the 18th, 1984, that happened to me. I went to work one day, and some guys was doing something. I had the attitude, you know, hey, I'll take care of my business, let them do their business, no big deal. Well, their business went me to the hospital for 9 months and year recovery. So that changed my attitude. That made safety a priority with me regardless. I'm real big on team building, as B&W is. B&W spent a ton of money building the team that y'all see here. I've been involved with a lot of projects that had a lot of contractors on there, and I guess I'm nosy. But when there's an accident would happen, I'd go around and visit with guys and ask a lot of questions. You know, there's always a safety report. You know, this guy, an amputee, got his foot cut off. This is a real story. And root cause analysis was he wasn't paying attention. Well, I got to asking some questions, and this happened on several accidents. What I got was people got to tell me, you know, that guy didn't act like himself a few days before that. So I made it a habit. I got my first project manager's job in 1998. I'd go around through the field and I talk to my guys. I'm looking at the work, I'm looking at what we're doing, the quality, but I'm also talking to my guys. There's been a lot of times that I'd see a character change in a guy. Call them in and talk to them, and just shooting the bull as far as they knew. But you know, everybody out there is a human being. And they all got problems. If they bring a problem on a job and we let them do it, they get distracted. All those guys are craftsmen. They know what to do, and their hands is doing it, but their body is not there. Their mind is not there. We all know what a pinch point is. And, you know, safety tells you don't put your hand at a pinch point. Well, you're working off habit. If you got a marital problem, money problem, whatever it is, you're working off muscle memory that quick. It affects your family, the company. There's just a snowball effect. So my challenge here is, my safety moment is for everybody here is a manager of some sorts. Know your people. I see a preventative here, and that's call a guy in. If a guy's got a problem, and I've done this a million times, tell me what the problem is. You know, and guys are there because they have to be. They need the money. And Jason and Tim and them, they've allowed me to do this. Go take care of your business. I'm going to pay you. That cures a lot of problems. They go take care of their business. They clear their head and they focus. They come back and they make the company and the project and the client, everybody gets successful with it. Appreciate it.
Next, we'd like to have remarks from the leadership here at B&W, so we'll start with Jason Brubacher, CEO.
Thank you, Doug. My name again is Jason Brubacher. I'm the CEO here at B&W Fluid Dynamics. Thank you, Doug Wallace. Appreciate those words. Thank you for everybody for coming. We really enjoy having some familiar faces and friends that we haven't seen in a long time. We have a lot of exciting things happening right now at B&W, and we felt last year that it was time to have a makeover, and we were doing a lot of different things now that we hadn't in the past, and we had outgrown our previous image of B&W Fluid Dynamics, involved in quite a bit of other stuff. And so we implemented this strategy several months ago. Thank you, Fort Collins, for helping us put all of this together. And the future is looking really bright for us right now, and we look forward to all of you guys being part of this. So thank you all very much for coming, and I appreciate it.
Next, we'll have Tim Kinsler, the Chief Strategy Officer. Where's Tim? Tim's a little hesitant. Come on. I know you want to talk.
So sudden.
Oh, yeah, you didn't know about it.
Okay, put the camera down. So, to be honest, when I do this, I never know what I'm going to say, and I never know what I said afterwards, so forgive me for that. Here we go. Jason's always a hard act to follow. So I want to start out, first of all, by thanking everybody for being here, our customers, our vendors, our employees. This is a big night, and thank all of you for coming. You guys did an excellent job at setting this up. These guys, while we started this process, I told Doug, we're trying to change our logo and our name, and, Doug's pretty much of a pest, right? And so, every day he'd come in with 10 or 20 new logos and tell you, pick two, this and that. And I said, this is like if somebody came in and said, you've got an ugly baby. We're going to make it pretty for you, you know what I mean? And so
We had that conversation, didn't we?
we fought over the name, over the colors, I wanted yellow. Jason wanted orange. I mean, we almost had fist fights over it, but it was quite an amazing process. And these guys, we're all used to kind of being in the middle of everything. And so while this was going on, I'd think, is somebody getting business cards? Is somebody doing this? And these guys were doing all of that, and they knew how to lead us to where we are now. What Doug would do is every time he presented a new logo, or 10, the one he wanted would always be at the top. And the same one would be on every sheet. And I finally said, Doug, just tell us what our logo is going to be, and let's move on. So anyway, it was quite a process. So last night, my wife bought me a new watch. I wanted y'all to know that. That's for 1 year of happy marriage on my part. And so, I got it, and I was surprised, and I pulled it out. This is a Swiss watch, right? Swiss Army watch. And so I started looking at what all it does. Everybody knows about Swiss Army watches, right? I mean, it's got a crystal face. This will go down to 100 meters. But it doesn't say anywhere whether it's an automatic or manual wind or any of that, right? So I started Googling. I couldn't figure out how to set the time and all that. But I started thinking about how everybody knows what a Swiss watch is, right? And have you ever heard it runs like a Swiss watch, right? So she gave me that, and then I told her, you just gave me some good material. You guys don't know, all of you don't know, when our salespeople go out to our clients like Freddie and Glenn and Ken, the question they always ask us is, what makes you different? Because everybody goes in and says we're the best. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter whether they are or not. Everybody says they're the best. I was in Istanbul, Turkey last week, and the CEO of SOCAR said, you know, I'm sold, but what makes you the best? And I told him, I said, you know, what do you expect me to say? I said, you know, everybody says they're the best. And I told him, I said, this is what I'll say. Look at our technical proposal. Look at how we price the job. Look at what we propose to do. And then you'll know what makes us different, you know? So, you know, it's difficult to tell everybody what makes you different. We know what makes us different because we know what our competitors are doing. We know how they do it, you know, and we know, but it's something that's very difficult to get across, right? So this is the first step right here in quantifying and qualifying what makes our brand better. You know, and we know what that is, but Doug and Four Columns are going to help us be able to tell people, because we're not capable ourselves of really telling them. So they're helping us by rebranding us so that when you think of B&W, you'll think like Rolex or Swiss watch. You'll know what that means. You know what I mean? And so we know we're the best. Now I'm going to tell you one other thing. You know, I talked Christmas Eve or at our Christmas party, and of course it was just to our employees. So I know we're live streaming now. We have customers and vendors here, so I have to be a little more subdued. And also, I haven't had but one glass of wine. But one thing I forgot, you ever go somewhere and you say what you're going to say, and then you left and thought, man, I wished I'd said this, you know? And at that party, you know, I looked around, and, you know, a company can buy pumps. A company can get noise suppressors. You know, a company can buy, you know, pretty much everything we have. Almost, except for John designed most of it, and it's better than theirs, but they can buy some. But what makes a service company different is the people. And I'm going to tell you right now how I differentiate us from everybody else. Nobody else has Robert Emery in engineering. Nobody has Matt or Roman and these guys in the shop. These guys that load our trucks, go through our engineers' drawings, you know, they follow our quality process, and they are our last line of defense. If there's a mistake in engineering, if there's something left off the bill of material, these guys catch it so that our customers never know that almost happened. And that's what makes B&W different. John Haldane, where's John? He probably left. John? I promise you, and I don't know if they put it on here, but you know, when Doug and them were videoing us for the website, and he asked me, you know, what do you think about John Haldane? And I said, well, there's two things about John. One, every time he opens his mouth, it's a good idea. And it's always 6 months too late. Because you got to beg John to give your opinion, but when he gives it to you, it's the best one on earth. And I told Doug, didn't I, Doug? I said, if you look up pre-commissioning cleaning engineer, John's picture is in the dictionary. And that's a fact, and nobody else has John Haldane. And that's what makes us different. We've got Ed Saylor. He's been doing this I'm not even going to say how long. Ed Saylor, the customers love him. He knows how to engineer. No other company has engineers like Ed Saylor, Robert Emery, Akut. You know, we have, and I'll put our engineers, well, most of our competitors don't have engineers. But if they do, they don't stand up against our engineers, and that's a fact. We've got marketing guy Dennis Miller, and he knows every project that's going on Earth, and he's pushing our salesmen to go after it. Nobody has that. We've got Joel. Joel, could you get off your knees? We, Joel, I love you. That's all I was going to say. Joel Bavin's running the company pretty much. We realize that Jason and I are worn out. John's almost worn out. We need younger guys. We need people who understand technology, who know how to tweet and Facebook and all of that stuff, And Joel he's a little too much of an engineer, but not enough to keep him from being a good manager. You know what I mean? And Joel's doing an amazing, no one else has Joel Babin running their company. And that's what makes us better. We got Mel, I can go on and on. I mean, I know we have a time limit here, right, Doug? But I mean, we got Dick Lockie and Melva. If it weren't for Melva, nobody would have a visa or a passport or a plane ticket. We'd be late to every single job, but Melva's always there getting it done. You know what I mean? So that's what makes us different. And I look, Ed Deal, sorry, Ed. Ed Deal's the most anal person on earth. He's 20 years in the Coast Guard, safety director, you know what I mean? And I mean, he's always there. Safety, safety, safety. A lot of times people hate him. They come to me and say, I hate Ed. And I tell them, I want a safety manager that is always there picking, making us better. You know what I mean? And Ed knows everybody hates him. You know what I mean? But I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, Ed. Ed is if you want a safety director, Ed Dill's your safety director. He doesn't miss a thing. You know what I mean? He's a pain, but he doesn't miss anything. So, and I'm going to say, and I'm talking, I could go on and on and on. We've got, almost 100 people, and every single one of them our competitors don't have. I could go on. Tom McGlade, Billy, especially Billy Williams. So I got to tell one story. When we were in Kazakhstan, Billy, come up here. Billy, come up here. Come here, Billy. I'm going to tell one more story.
Lie to you people. Don't listen to this.
This is John the Baptist here. And I'm going to tell you why. When we were in Kazakhstan, and that was a tough project, right, Freddie? And the mechanical group were from Turkey. And they had a different production rate than we did, right? So I came up one day, and Billy was inside of this. There was a unit that had 3 structures. And there were Turkish guys on every level. And Billy couldn't get them to move. And so they were all looking down at him. And Billy came out and he says, fellas, it can't all be done tomorrow. Some of it has to be done today. And they just looked at him and rolled their eyes. But that's the kind of guy Billy was. Billy, thank you. John the Baptist. And that's why I said that. He looked like John the Baptist preaching to the masses. So, anyway, what makes us different? Our people. Service companies have people. We have the best people, period. And I'll put all of our people up against anybody. These guys now are making our baby prettier. And they're going to begin to help us be able to tell the real story of what makes us different from everybody else. So thanks for being here. Thanks for participating with us. This is a great night.
Joel Babin, COO.
That's a tough act.
He's not going
I think maybe I should have brought a platform. Can anybody see me? Well, that's a tough act to follow, Tim, but to be honest with you and everybody here, as the COO, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Tim. He saw something in me that I didn't see in myself probably 4 years ago, and he steered me this direction. I'm really glad he did. And he always likes to joke with me and say, you know, Joel, you're an engineer, but you're not quite so much of an engineer. You have a personality, you can talk to people, and people for some reason like you. And so the way he puts it is, man, you must have been a shitty engineer. So I said, you know what? You're probably right. Is there any sales positions open in the company? And took over in sales, and it's been a real good experience. But I've said this before, I'll say it again. I want to thank Jason Brubacher. I want to thank Tim and John for everything, the trust that they put in me to do what I have to do here for the company. Doug, what you've done with the rebranding is remarkable. The website is just light years ahead of what anybody else in the business has. To me, it's really exciting. I got really excited about the rebranding because I think I might have been a little bit further along with that than the people that had the ugly baby. So I wasn't quite so attached to the ugly kid. But I really felt like we were changing so much as a company, and we were doing so much more than what the perceived image of B&W was. So I was really excited about it. I really charged at it full speed and really worked well with Doug through the process. And I'm about building this company up. I want to make us bigger. I want to make us stronger. We've got a tremendous amount of momentum moving into this year. We've got a really good backlog. We're adding people. You know, there's a lot of people right now. I'm in an executive group. We meet once a month. Everybody in that meeting this month is terrified because of the price of oil and the impact it's going to have on their businesses. And everybody spoke that morning. And when I spoke, I couldn't hardly think straight because there's so many things spinning around in my head because of the rebranding, all the work that we've been awarded recently, everything that's happening right now. We're having to hire people. They're trying to figure out who they're going to cut and when they're going to have to cut them. And we're growing as a company in a time when most people are trying to retract. So that's exciting. I want to build this company, not for me, not for Jason, not for Tim, but for Ed Saylor. I want to build this for Robert Emery, everybody that works for us as a company, Matt, Roman, everybody, Ed. I want you guys to have a place to come that you enjoy working. You enjoy working for the people here. You have a good, stable, secure job, and everybody is working towards a common goal. Because if I can't add value to your lives as employees, I can't add value to Ken's job, Freddie's job, or anybody's job or project. And to me, that's what it's about. This is as selfless as I can approach it. I want to make your life better. And that's the way I'm approaching this. And we're growing. Man, we're growing fast. And the future's bright, and I'm looking forward to it. And I just thank you guys again for the opportunity and looking forward to this year. Thanks again, Doug, for everything you're doing with this rebranding.
Okay, enjoy yourselves. Thank you again for coming, and thanks to those joining us on the internet. And have fun, and thanks for coming.